Leadership style used by the project manager is autocratic leadership. This means the manager make decisions alone and give clear instruction to the team. Why democratic is more effective? Democratic leadership can be more effective because team members feel value and respect. It also leads to the better idea and through discussion and improve problem solving, and as a result, the overall performance of the team can improve. Alternative leadership. Another approach is leadership. This style focuses on inspiring and motivating team members. The leader encourage personal growth and support new ideas. Why transformational leadership is more effective? Transformational leadership is effective because it increases employee commitment. Team members feel inspired to do their best and work towards achievements. It also creates a positive and productive working environment.
Characteristics of autocratic leadership. There are several key characteristics of this leadership style. Firstly, decision-making is centralized. Secondly, there is strict control over tasks and performance. Lastly, the focus is on completing tasks quickly and efficiently. This style is useful in urgent situations where fast decisions are needed. Alternative leadership is democratic. An alternative approach is democratic leadership. In this style, the manager involves team members in decision making. Everyone is encouraged to share ideas and opinions. This helps to build teamwork and increase motivation among employees.
Motivation theories help managers understand what drives employees to perform. So for the first theory, it has Maslow's theory. Maslow's theory suggests that employees are motivated by different levels of needs, starting from basic needs and moving towards higher level personal growth. Firstly, psychological needs. Psychological needs must be met by providing fair salaries, proper rest, and comfortable working conditions so that team members can focus on their tasks. Next, safety needs. Safety needs are fulfilled when employees feel secure in their jobs with stable employment and a safe working environment. In addition, social needs play an important role as employees are more motivated when they feel a sense of belonging, have good relationships with colleagues, and work well as a team. Furthermore, it has esteem needs. Esteem needs are satisfied when employees receive recognition, respect, and appreciation for their contribution, which increases their confidence and motivation. Finally, it has a self-actualization needs. Self-actualization needs are achieved when employees are given opportunities to grow, develop new skills, and reach their full potential.
Let's start with Theory S. This approach is based on an authoritarian style of management. The assumption assumes that employees are naturally motivated, dislike their work, and will avoid responsibility if possible. The application, because of the mindset, managers feel they must use a characteristic approach, offering reward for success and teach for failure when to use it. Why it may seem rigid, Theory S is actually very useful in crisis situations where quiet dedications are needed or where managers very inexperienced staff who require strict supervisors and clear direct instructions. On the opposite side, we have Theory Y, which is a passive style that assumes that employees are self-motivated, generally enjoy their work, and actively take more responsibility. The application in this model, management roles shift from policing to empowering. Managers should decentralize authority, meaning they share power and involve the team in the decision-making process. The benefit is generally the most effective approach for modest teams by giving people autonomy to solve their own problems. You foster a culture on trust and high performance. In summary, neither theory is right or wrong. There are tools for different contexts. However, to build a resilient and innovative organizations, the goal is to move toward a theory-wide mindset. When we stop micromanaging and start empowering, we unlock the true potential of our team.
First, let's look at the four main direction communication flow. The first one is downward communication. This is the most traditional flow, moving from the project manager to the employees. In an autocratic management style, the manager makes decision alone and send instruction down. A common example is assigning tasks without seeking any team's input first. The second one is upward communication. This flows from employees back up to the manager. Ideally, this is where feedback happens, but it can be weak if employees are afraid to share their honest ideas or if their suggestions are being filtered before reaching the top. The third one is lateral communication. This happens between team members on the same level. While this is vital for teamwork, it can become inactive if there are language or cultural gaps between colleagues. The fourth one is the last one, diagonal communication. Finally, we have diagonal flow, which cuts across different departments and levels. This is useful for project speed, but it's often when new staff struggle the most to find their footing. Now, why does communication often break down? We call this as barriers. The first one is information filtering. This happens when important ideas are changed or held back. Sometimes employees hide their true opinions just to avoid conflict with the manager. The second one is emotional barriers. Stress and fear are major hurdles. If an employee is anxious, they lose the confidence needed to speak openly, which stunts team growth. The third one is language barriers. This is especially common with new or intentional employees. If someone can't express their ideas clearly, miscommunication happens very quickly. The fourth one is cultural differences. Different backgrounds bring different working style and habits. Without understanding these values, a team can suffer from a total lack of teamwork and constant misunderstandings.
Good day everyone, today we will be discussing section C, the strategies to overcome communication barriers. These are practical approaches that organizations can adopt to ensure that communication flows effectively at all levels. Let us begin with our first strategy, encouraging open communication. A healthy organization starts with open dialogue. Managers should create a space where employees feel comfortable sharing their feedback and suggestions. This can be done through regular meetings, open discussions, or even suggestion platforms where ideas can be submitted freely. Moving on to our second strategy, adopting a more participative style. It is not enough to simply listen. Leaders must go a step further by involving employees in the decision-making process. When people feel their voices actually influence outcomes, they become more willing to communicate upward, and that strengthens the entire organization. Now, our third strategy, providing clear and simple communication. One of the biggest barriers to effective communication is the use of complicated language or technical jargon. Managers and leaders should make it a habit to use simple, straightforward language, and more importantly, they should always confirm that their message was understood, whether through feedback or paragraphing. Our fourth strategy is training and team building. Good communication is a skill, and like any skill, it must be developed. Organizations should invest in communication skills training and cultural awareness program. This not only improves how individuals express themselves, but also builds stronger, more unified teams. The fifth strategy is to use multiple communication channels. People receive and process information differently. That is why it is important to combine different channels such as face-to-face conversation, written message, and visual tools to ensure that the messages reaches everyone clearly and effectively. And finally, our sixth strategy, creating a supportive environment. All the previous strategies will only work if employees feel safe to speak up. Organizations must reduce fear and stress in the workplace and build a culture where people can share their ideas freely without the fear of being judged or dismissed. To close, overcoming communication barrier is not one-time effort. It requires consistent action, strong leadership, and a culture that values every choice. Thank you.